Okay, in this topic we'll be finding the angles. Okay, now we need to remember, and we always need to to keep in mind that the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The cosine of an angle is equal to adjacent over the hypotenuse. The tan of an angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. We always need to keep those three main three ratios. All right, so given a triangle, so let's give three examples. Right, and this is when you're given two sides. So for finding angles given two sides is as follows. So let's say this is the angle, and they may use whatever symbol they may want. So let's put here maybe 6 and 8. This needs to be a right angle. Let's put a next one here. Right, so let's consider that there are all right angles. So maybe here 5 and 12, and this is the angle given. Remember, it doesn't really have to be this way. It can be this way, or it can be this other way here that we have our shape. So this is the other angle here that we can find, and so we have that, and maybe here we have 6, and we have here say 12. Okay, so let's start. So how do we work this out? Well, let's look at what we have been given. What is it that we have, and what is it that we are looking for? So when we are talking of this particular angle, we have two sides given. We know that this side is adjacent to the angle, so therefore this is adjacent. And we know that this angle here, that this side here is opposite to this angle, so therefore this is opposite. So we look at the three ratios and we say which one of them entails or have opposite and adjacent to find the angle. Well, opposite and adjacent means this one here. So we can have opposite and adjacent when we are using tan. So therefore we put tan of the angle, we concentrate on that. Tan of the angle is equals to opposite over adjacent, and the tan of the angle is equals then 6 over 8, and that can reduce to 2, 3, 2, 4. So therefore the tan of the angle is equals to 3 over 4, or angle is equals to arc tan 3 over 4. Okay, so now we are to find the arctan of 3/4, and that you will need to use your calculator unless you are using the 3-fig table. Okay, and that is okay. So for right now we're going to be using our calculator, given that you are allowed to use. So you're going to find inverse tan 0.75 or 3/4, and that is equals to angle, and you give it to one decimal place, which is 36.9 degrees 1 dp rounded off. Okay, because this would be 0.869 and so forth, but since we're working with whole numbers, make it to 1 degree. Accuracy is what we want. All right, so that's for that one there. Okay, let's go with the next one. So this was when you're given two sides, when you're given the opposite and the adjacent side. What about this one here? Well, in this one here we have the angle which we want. We have the side given which is opposite to the right angle, and this is the hypotenuse. And then we look at the angle and the side also given. This is the adjacent. Which one of those three ratios have adjacent and hypotenuse? Okay, so it's cosine. So we'll be using cosine for this one here. So we put cosine of the angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and the cosine of the angle is equals to 5 over 12, and so arc the angle is equals to arc cos 5 over 12. So angle is equals, now you will take that in your calculator and solve it, and that should give us now our cosine. Remember, be careful with the signs. So you have to put our cosine 5 divided by 12, because that is how you will need to put it in your calculator, and that gives us 65.4 degrees to 1 decimal place rounded off, and that's our solution for this one here. Okay, so now we go to the next one. What have we been given in this other one? Well, we look at the angle that we're looking for, and we have the side which is opposite to the angle, and as the word says opposite, this means this is the opposite side. And since this is the longest side opposite to the right angle, this is the hypotenuse. So now we look at which one of them gives us hypotenuse and opposite. Well, that is the sine. So we're going to be using sine for this one here. So the sine of the angle is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, and it's good practice for you to write down the formula that you will be using. So the sine of angle is equals to 6 over 12, which is 1/2, and so angle is equals to arc sin 1 over 2, and that will give us the arc sin of 1 over 2, which is 0.5, and that will give us 30 degrees to 1 dp. Okay, so we have solved those ones there. So what did we do? We used SOHCAHTOA, we found the angles given two sides, and also we have just previously gotten the angle given a side. We found the opposite side. So we have been finding the sides and angles of these triangles.